Hello everyone, this is Melody with designbymelody.com. So I'm exactly a year behind in my scrapbook. I didn't actually start scrapbooking until 2013, probably, I don't know, beginning of the summer, I guess, of 2013. I've always done cards and other paper crafts, but I really haven't been, full-blown scrapbooking until last year, and then I really got into it. So I scrapbooked a lot of photos throughout the year, but I never really put my album together until the fall of last year, and I decided to organize my album chronologically, and then I'll do different either separate albums or separate sections for vacations or events or things like that. So I started with 2013 and I have it divided monthly, and I do have a couple videos about how I do the monthly title cards. But I, about 2 weeks ago, went through all of my photos in iPhoto and looked at all the photos that were taken in January of 2013 to see what I had scrapbooked, what I hadn't scrapbooked, and what else I wanted to do. So I have the pocketed pages that I will upload shortly to show that. And then I had one open space in the um, in the in the album in January. So I was trying to figure out what to put in, and I decided to go through the artwork that Calen had, and I found this piece of artwork he did. And he really just started getting into coloring and things around that time because he had just turned 2. So I took this piece, I cut it down, and then as you saw what I was just doing, I scored it, and then I backed it with some white cardstock to give it a little bit of stability. It was very thin paper, and then I did washi tape on the joints, basically just to give it a little bit more stability and to keep it all together. So the back piece that's on that stripe paper is going to be the only one that's actually adhered down to the page. The rest of it's going to be a fold out. It's going to be interactive. That way you can see it. If it's just in the page protector, you'll see this part, but then if you take it out and look at it, you'll see the rest. So I'm using, this is just a random piece of ribbon here, white ribbon. So I'm just going to glue it down and then cover it with some more of that washi tape. You're not going to see the washi tape really unless you fold it out and flip it over, but I wanted it to kind of coordinate with the page. So this washi tape's actually from Pick Your Plum. And funny enough, they actually have it on there today, the same set that I have. I think it comes with like 8 different tapes, different colors. They're chevron, stripe, dots. The chalkboard with the numbers, which I actually really like that one, and then an alphabet one as well. But I found that these tapes specifically really coordinated with the Echo Park collection, and that's where I pulled most of these papers. It's the Echo Park Paper Company, A Perfect Summer collection that came out, I don't know exactly when it came out, but I got this last summer. This kit. It was one of the first collection kits I bought when I started scrapbooking. I did a couple of them, and I really gravitated towards the Echo Park ones just because of the colors. I like the bright colors. I also like I like white based colors instead of cream and distress colors. I do like distress colors, but I like it when it's more, I don't know, for some reason I gravitate towards white versus cream a little bit more. And the Echo Park ones have a lot of these bright colors that just go with the white as well. So as you saw, I stamped on the inside, Live Creatively. It just kind of went along with the theme here, and that stamp is actually from a previous Studio Calico kit. It's just a 2x2 stamp, and it was designed by Lindsay Letters, and I used Stampin' Up! Baja Breeze ink. These letters are actually from the Echo Park A Perfect Summer Collection kit. These are called the Alpha stickers. And then I also will use the Element stickers. So the title is Masterpiece, and I put it directly on his artwork. And then it's going to have a subtitle that says Calen's First Artwork, and that will be at the top here. And I'm going to use those little tile alphas that come on this same sheet for that. And that's where you'll see this. It says Calen's First Artwork. Calen and artwork are going to be in the red, and then first is going to be in the orange. And I picked this collection kit to work with because the colors that he used when he was coloring were a lot of oranges, blues, greens, There's a couple teals, so it really kind of went well with the color scheme of this collection kit. I'm just centering it up here. With this collection kit, I've actually done, I believe, a total of 5 layouts already. I've done them over time. Oh no, I've done 4 layouts and a card. And I do have a couple of the layouts I did posted. They were probably some of the very first process videos I did back in August or September of last year, I believe. And they're spread throughout my scrapbook. So it'll all, I don't scrapbook in order, but I do like to actually put it in my album in chronological order. I went through all my supplies in addition to the collection kit because I just got the paper and the 2 element or the alpha stickers and the element stickers with the kit, so I didn't get anything else that matched, no die cuts or anything. So I went through all my supplies and found things in the same color scheme. I was pulling out a lot of teals and blues and then a couple greens and yellows. That banner I did right below the artwork are also from the sticker and alpha sheet as well. And I just made a border below to kind of fill in that gap. I didn't want it to be totally open. And it kind of blends in with the striped paper that it's all on top of. These are some vellum speech bubbles. I got these in a rack from someone. So I don't know who makes them, but I like to use them on layouts just to add a little bit, without being too overwhelming. So I've got 3 embellishment clusters. I have one on the left side, excuse me, one on the top right above the artwork, and then at the very bottom on the right. So I'm using these speech bubbles and cutting them up so I don't have to use quite so many. Since you're not going to see the whole thing anyways, I cut a couple of them apart and kept all the extra pieces. There's no way I'm going to use all the supplies that I pulled out, but I did just want to make sure I had a lot to pick from without having to come rummage through my stash the whole time. This is a frame from SEI, the Black Orchid collection. I just took this one and cut it apart, cut it up a little bit. It completely matched the color scheme here. And they're pretty thick, so it gives a little bit of dimension as well. Just another layer. Continuing to look through all the things that I pulled out to see if anything grabs me or just draws my attention. Going back here to see, and this tab says take a look. Just to kind of draw your attention to the fact that this is an interactive page. I don't have any additional journaling on here other than the subtitle, which I guess is sort of journaling. I have this one border sticker that I cut apart and put into all 3 embellishment clusters. It ties in the red of the subtitle as well as the red on the banner at the bottom of the artwork into each cluster. I played around with the idea of using a couple buttons, but I end up going back to enamel dots instead, which I believe I add the enamel dots after the video is over, but you will see it in the final photos. I had some sequins that I pulled out, and I end up going with these very small sequins. They're kind of pearlescent. I got them from a sewing shop. They weren't, it's just a locally owned sewing shop. It was just a bag full of miscellaneous sequins, and I think it was like 50 cents for a whole bag of it. If they had had more, I probably would have bought more, but it was the last one they had. But I use it a lot. It's just enough to add a little bit of something extra to the page without being so noticeable. And these right here are actually the enamel dots they end up adding afterwards. Oh, never mind. I thought I added them afterwards, but they're actually before I take off the recording. And that's where they'll be. And this little sticker is actually a date. And I just put January 2013. I didn't know what date. It was probably even done over a period of time. I like to keep, he just got it for Christmas 2000, at the end of 2013, but I always like to keep paper out for him to color on. So I always have it set up somewhere where he can just walk in, start coloring, and then leave it, and then come back a couple days later and add something to it. So I always have paper up on, up out or on an easel or something for him to use. But he just got an easel for Christmas of 2013, so it makes it even better. I just put a big piece of paper up there and let him go. So I'm using Tombow Mono Multi glue to adhere down all of the sequence, and then I'm going through each cluster and just making sure everything is stuck down. They're flat layers with a little bit of dimension between the sequence, the frame, and the enamel dot. Like I said, I'm very pleased at how this layout turned out. I didn't have a whole lot. I didn't know what I was going to do at first. I even actually printed a photo, scanned this into the computer and printed a photo of it to use a photo of it instead, but the photo just didn't do it justice. I mean, it's this entire thing scaled down to a 4x6 photo, so it just didn't do it justice. So I wanted to use the whole thing, and then like I said at the beginning, I had an empty space in my scrapbook that I needed to put something, so it was a great thing. I didn't have any more photos to scrapbook. Apparently that month we took either very little photos or some photos got deleted. I can't find any. They're not on my phone, they're not on the camera, they're not on the iPad. I went through all of iPhoto and I just couldn't find any other ones. So we may just not have taken that many photos, but I wanted to just make the most of it though and really make sure I included things in the scrapbook. Just trimming this down a little bit more. I've had these frames for probably 2 years, so I had no problem actually cutting it up. They don't seem to, the colors of them don't actually seem to fit with anything I would use for a frame on a layout. So using it as an element works just fine for me. Adding the borders, and this is pretty much the finishing touches here. And if you'll check out my blog at www.designbymelody.com, you can get an exact supply list for this layout, and you can also see a lot of still photos. I will put some photos at the end of this video though for you to look at. But thanks for joining me today. Hopefully I'll be back soon with another video.